Well, hello everyone. It's my pleasure to be here together with teacher Alfredo. Welcome, teacher, and welcome
Good
to your
morning to you, teacher.
conversation lessons as usual every Monday. Today, we are going to talk about the new rules and the new law of immigration in the Florida state made by the new governor, DeSantis. Laws with against the immigrants, which we concerned a lot to us, and mostly the people from Venezuela, Cuba, Nicaragua, and some other countries. So, teacher, you can make a little introduction about what's going on, and then we're going to share a video to you guys. Okay, teacher, what do you think
Sure.
about all of this situation which is happening in Florida?
Sure, teacher. So, this is still breaking news, and this is very, very new. So we don't really know yet what are going to be the long-term effects. But to start with, Governor DeSantis, he signed a law that requires employers that have more than 25 employees that the employees have to check their immigration status using a federal database known as E-Verify.
Wow.
And this caused a lot of fear naturally among the immigrant community.
Yeah, of course.
And this law actually is not going to take effect until June. But I know we're not too far away from June.
We are in May already.
Basically we're in the
next month.
We're about 10 days away or so, or yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of the immigrants, the workers, are leaving the state.
Yeah.
And it's having dramatic effects, negative effects on industries such as agriculture, the tourism and hospitality.
Some other, I think all the industry in Florida, teacher.
Construction,
tourism.
You're gonna big slowdowns.
Yeah, also there are about talking about real estate.
Yep.
I heard something about
maybe in the video. See,
they're not able to buy lands,
and the new housing communities, everything has stopped.
It's a matter of transportation also,
because there are no workers.
Yeah, totally crazy.
So it has a big effect.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're going to do if they realize that this problem is not going to go away. So, but maybe we can watch the video and then.
Yeah, let's share the video. We have some video for you guys in order to understand a little bit better what's going on. Okay, here's the video. Let's play it.
Francisco Maldonado finds himself struggling to ease the fears of workers on his farm in Homestead, Florida. Many are undocumented and all are facing important decisions in the wake of Florida's new immigration law.
We're gonna try to see if we can make him stay as long as we can. I don't know what's gonna happen after July 1st. From now on, it's just rumors and just people thinking that they have to leave.
One of his workers, Faustino, says he knows of workers leaving Florida over the uncertainty. Faustino said he came to the U.S. from Guatemala at the age of 14, but after nearly 20 years of planting and picking fruits and vegetables in South Florida, he's not going anywhere. It's sad that some people are moving or they're scared to go to work. If we don't do these jobs, who's going to do them? We're the ones who have to do this work. The new law, which goes into effect in July, requires a business with at least 25 workers to use E-Verify, a federal program that checks the immigration status of workers, with penalties for employers who knowingly hire undocumented workers. Most farm owners, including Maldonado, say they keep the number of employees under 20.
We had a lot more workers, but we cut back a little bit. So I think we're still on the right number, and I don't think it's going to affect us much, but we still don't know yet.
The impact of the new law goes beyond jobs. Certain hospitals will have to ask patients about their immigration status, and the law makes it a felony to transport someone in the country illegally into Florida. For Governor Ron DeSantis, the expansion of E-Verify is making good on a promise he made in 2018 during his first run for governor.
We want businesses to hire citizens and legal immigrants, but we want them to follow the law and not do illegal immigrants, and that's not that difficult to do.
In response to the law, the national Hispanic rights group LULAC urged immigrants, no matter their status, not to travel to Florida. Locally, immigration advocacy groups like We Count are meeting with workers in agriculture, hospitality, and construction to answer questions about the changes.
These immigrant workers really are the drivers of Florida's economy. And what Florida is doing by the government, by imposing and implementing this law, is really punching down on the communities that make this economy run.
For some workers, the fear of losing their job is overwhelming. A 21-year-old nursery worker cried out of frustration, saying she and her 3-year-old child have nowhere else to go and no one to turn to. I worry for myself and I worry for others. We're all in this together and the situation is tough.
Wow. Wow. Wow, teacher. Very, very difficult the situation. And wow, even going to the hospital, I'm gonna ask for you to for your
Exactly,
your
teacher.
legal status. That's crazy.
You could see why so many immigrants would be afraid, and
Yeah,
it would cause them to leave the state.
to leave the state.
So it's again, without really talking about politics, it could be very difficult for the state.
I read something this morning when I woke up. I was reading the news, but I did it very, very quickly. And that people from Venezuela, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Syria are not able to buy lands in Florida close to military
Installations.
installations.
Yeah. I didn't know that, but you're probably right.
Yes.
Because
Wow.
again, sometimes it depends on the views of the governor.
Some people might agree with that. Some people
Some
won't.
people might. Some people might. So again, I know that we don't agree on everything. So all we can do is just basically report the facts
Yeah.
and just leave it up to everybody.
In
to
my
decide.
opinion, teacher, is of course, we cannot hide that there is a crisis at the border, and this government has been accepting a lot of immigrants from everywhere and giving benefits. And of course, there are different types of immigrants, people who are coming through the border, bad people, but there are also good people, and we cannot, generalize and everything. And what I think is all these decisions are made to fight against this kind of agreements that this government is doing. That's my opinion. Of course, it's a bit difficult to talk about it without getting involved in the politics. And
Right.
but I think the major problem is to fight against the horrendous governments that we have in our countries. And if we had governments under democracy, I think all of this problem would have been happened. What do you think, teacher?
Excuse me, teacher. I think that the government now, they've been trying to change a lot of things that our old administration had tried to implement, and this was quite hard. So I think this administration now, they've been trying to soften things a little bit. But I think, teacher, the big point for me is that I think that the America in general, they have to acknowledge that there are just certain jobs that are better done by immigrants. If they acknowledge this, then we won't have so many problems like this. Because a lot of longtime Americans won't do these types of jobs.
No, they won't.
And we all know that. Everybody knows that.
Mhm.
To work in the field, to work on a job site, to clean a hotel room, to be a dishwasher, things like that. A lot of longtime Americans, they just wouldn't do this work. Okay, so I think if we kind of acknowledge that, maybe when we think about the laws and things, it would be better.
Yeah, that's good, teacher. It's very good to hear, and also coming from you, who you are an American, a Native American, and and that's important, teacher.
Yeah, just to be very, very real and very practical.
And this is such a huge country. This is a country that's got capacity for all those people who are coming. I remember someone told me once that this country is it's 700 million people short. It needs almost 100 million people more.
Yes, the population is incredible. We're 50 states and also a few territories. So America in many ways is always looked upon as the leader of the free world.
Yeah.
So what our policies, what we approve, people around the world are also watching.
Yeah. Yes. Well, teacher, what I recommend to my students and everybody, we're almost finished this video, is you guys have two options. Okay. Become it legal. You have to be legal. And the second option is to speak English, because immigrants, when they see you guys without speaking very good English, then you get in trouble. They see you different. You guys, you have to speak a very good English. It doesn't matter that it can be in one teacher American English on any other academy, English academy, but you guys have to do it. You have to speak a very good English. I was telling my students that sometimes you go some places and you can feel they see you, the discrimination. They see you different when you don't speak the English language. And this is what I tell my students all the time, teacher.
Right. Again, that's not a good feeling, but I know that does happen.
Yeah, living in Florida or not, you have to speak English. It's important.
Right. So I think that's a good tip.
Yeah. Well, teacher, thank you so much. It has been a very nice conversation, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And what we have to do is be legal and speak English. And then you guys, and honestly, of course, you have to be honest. Yeah. Do you want to recommend anything, teacher, before we stop?
Again, teacher, I especially your second point about learning English.
Mhm.
I really think that will just serve anybody and help them to improve their lives. So by improving your English, and of course living in America, I think you're opening up many, many more doors for yourself
Yes,
to
teacher,
move forward. And
that's true.
I couldn't agree more with you on that, teacher.
Before, they used to say that learning English is important for you to open doors and blah, 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 and everything. And now, speaking English is not only growing, it is also tranquilidad emocional. Emotional, to be in peace, emotionally talking.
Right.
Yes,
So
teacher.
there are many sides to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, teacher, thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, teacher.
Very
Thank you
good,
so much
sir. I hope you
for your
guys
time.
enjoy this conversation.